Lamar Jackson.
The eye test is quite clear on telling you who the most elusive quarterback in the National Football League is. If you've watched the NFL at all over the last few years, you will remember plays like this.
He steps up in the pocket and takes off, and Lamar Jackson runs for Ravens first down.
Or this.
Jackson buys time to the end zone for a touchdown, Aguilar.
Or this.
It's Jackson, oh my gosh, here he goes. He'll sprint. He's being chased by Howard. Looking behind. You can kiss him goodbye. Touchdown. He is electrifying.
Where he shows off an elusiveness NFL fans have never seen before. Last week's matchup saw the Baltimore Ravens smack the San Francisco 49ers in the mouth. And after watching Lamar break sack after sack to create absurd amounts of time to throw with his pocket presence and agility against the best defensive line in football, I became curious what that time would look like visually and how it compared to other NFL quarterbacks. And for me, these confirm the eye test while adding in some interesting tidbits and context. Let's start with his insane time to throw stat. Now this is actually an interesting stat for me because Lamar, along with Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, have really been challenging this idea for me for a couple of years now that NFL quarterbacks need to get the ball out as quickly as possible. Quarterbacks I grew up watching, like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, always publicly prided themselves on getting the ball out of their hands as quickly as possible. Which makes sense in that holding the ball in the pocket for less time allows a quarterback maybe a little bit of extra space to throw as defenders haven't been rushing for as long, so you're going to have less fumble sacks, less hits while you're throwing, leading to less interceptions, and I grew up believing that, and I've kind of kept that for a while. However, there are still other totally valid ways to play quarterback. And just because someone played their way really, really well does not mean that everybody else needs to play just like that. Lamar has an unreal ability the NFL has never seen before to manipulate the pocket, working defenders into blockers, and buying time nearly into double-digit seconds before throwing on a game-to-game basis. Defense will typically cover receivers well for 2 to 4 seconds, let's say, really at best, but every receiver is going to get big separation if their quarterback can get them over 4 seconds to run a route. This is, to me, what gives Lamar Jackson the most elite and valuable trait out of all NFL players right now. The ability to force defenses far beyond their regular time and coverage, allowing receivers the time to ensure that they will be open. Out of full-time starters, sorry Josh Dobbs, only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL have individually added more time to throw than 2.6 seconds per play. A tie between Lamar Jackson and Justin Fields at 2.66 seconds. Compare that number to Tom Brady's 2022 total time to release of only 2.45 seconds per Next Gen Stats. Less than half of Lamar's total. This stat highlights the fact that these are very different yet equally valid ways of playing NFL quarterback at an elite level. While Brady aims to have less than half of the time in the pocket that Lamar does, Lamar is aiming to add onto each play more time through his athleticism than the entirety of Brady's average snap last year. Let's reiterate. Lamar's additional time added per play through his scrambling and working the pocket alone, just that time that he's added, is greater than Tom Brady's entire time to throw on average last season. Whoa. Elusiveness grades are essentially a number trying to show us how difficult it is to tackle a quarterback, and this chart shows us that Lamar is by far the most difficult in the league to bring down, while also giving us a simple counting stat in broken tackles that we can visualize a bit easier. Lamar leads the league in both, by a lot. He leads the league in broken tackles with 35, 14 more than second place Justin Fields, about 1 per game. and 19 more than Josh Allen's total. This correlates well to his elusiveness rating being about 30% higher than second place Justin Fields as well. Fields has been having a great career year in every way this season and has been a legit physical force when he gets to running. So to dwarf Fields and Josh Allen's numbers for elusiveness and broken tackles is just no small feat. Let's see how that translates over to Lamar's impact in the run game. His 35 avoided tackles have led to a league high by a mile, 27 runs of over 10 yards. Truly in a class of his own, without any competition in these statistical categories. Having seen that, I'm sure it will come as no surprise that not only is Lamar Jackson leading all quarterbacks in the NFL in rushing yards, but he is doing so by 200 yards. Watch here how he manipulates the pocket by reading the defense throughout his entire drop, and then he keeps his eyes downfield throughout his entire scramble. He can't find an open receiver on this play, but because of that correct process, he has trained himself to, on plays like this, be able to use his elite elusiveness as a tool in the pocket to keep passing plays alive downfield. And that trait is what makes this Ravens offense unstoppable. All of these stats and film clips I hope have made it as clear to you as it is to me that Lamar Jackson's elusiveness, both in and out of the pocket, is the singular most valuable trait any NFL player is bringing to their team this NFL season. And heading into the 2024 NFL playoffs, I think we all know that opposing defensive coordinators will be losing sleep over this before every single matchup.
It's Jackson